Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Johnny Talk Sports, here to provide some Week 5 NFL recaps and my Week 6 NFL predictions. So, what happened in Week 5? The Eagles lost to the Lions, suffering their first loss this season. My Atlanta Falcons upset the Denver Broncos in the Mile High Stadium, which I called that upset. Boom! Making the Vikings the only undefeated team left in all of the NFL. Odell Beckham finally caught his first touchdown of the season. He went on to embrace the kicking net, the same kicking net he almost beat up 2 weeks ago against the division rival Redskins. I think now that Odell Beckham has that touchdown out of the way, I think it's going to lead to a lot of touchdowns in future games. The 49ers announced that they will be starting Colin Kaepernick this weekend against the Bills. Tom Brady had a fantastic return against the Browns, 406 yards and 3 touchdown passes, and he even called that kind of a weak game, kind of a slump game. And he described it also as rusty. The Cowboys keep on winning as they just humiliated the Bengals. Ezekiel Elliott continued to dominate his rookie season behind that Cowboys offensive line. The Panthers' struggles continue. They are now 1-4 after losing a heartbreak on Monday night to Tampa Bay 17-14. Even though Tampa Bay kicker Roberto Aguayo, who they traded up in the second round to get, missed 2 field goals in that game. The Titans upset the Dolphins. That was one of the picks I didn't have. Let's see. I think that's all I have for you this weekend. Now let's get to these Week 6 NFL predictions. We're going to start off with the one on Thursday night, the Broncos versus the Chargers. Now, on the Broncos side of the football, it is looking like Trevor Siemian is going to start tomorrow night's game. However, Phillip Rivers is really good in division games. However, I'm going to pick Denver's defense to be the difference in this game. I think they're going to get a late turnover to ice the game up. I think Phillip Rivers is going to compete with them really well. I think the Chargers are going to score early to stay in the game. But when it hits to about the middle of the third quarter, early fourth quarter, expect the Broncos to pull away, as the Chargers just do not have a defense to finish off games. So I like Denver. 49ers versus the Bills. So the Bills are flying high. They are now won 3 in a row. Now they're going against the 49ers, who are going to be led by Colin Kaepernick for the first time this season. However, Colin Kaepernick has been in the news, all over the sports news, about his controversy with the national anthem and feeling like he's oppressed. However, I feel like the Bills are going to win this one. I just think that Colin Kaepernick could be the guy to lead Chip Kelly's offense long term. However, their mentality is that it's just a lost season. They might as well just tank for draft picks. There's almost a debate to put in Christian Ponder for this game. However, they're going with Kaepernick, and I think the Bills are going to still win this game. I just think LaShawn McCoy and Reggie Bush will be the difference. Just that Bills running game, that's going to be the difference. You know, Reggie Bush is going to want to succeed in this one, as that's his old team. Or one of his 2 old teams. He was also a part of the Saints. Eagles and Redskins. Now, this is going to be a great game. It's a huge division clash. However, I like the Eagles to beat these Redskins. The Redskins have been flying high lately as well. They're getting hot. However, I think the Eagles are going to just cool it down a little bit. I just think the Eagles are going to recover. That defense is going to get really angry. And I like the Eagles' pass rush to be a huge difference maker. I'm going to pick the Eagles. Browns and Titans. Now, this is my first upset of the week. I like the Browns to get their first win of the season over these Titans. I just think the Browns are going to go back to what they're good at, running the football, Isaiah Crowell and Duke Johnson. That's what they should have done against the Redskins, was just run that football. Ravens and Giants. I'm going to pick the Giants to win this one at home. I just think Odell Beckham's now I think he's now going to get hot. I think that one touchdown, that's what's going to lead his confidence. That's going to get momentum going for him and his Giants team. I like him to just beat up on these Ravens. I think the Ravens secondary is going to really have their hands full with OBJ and Sterling Shepard. So I'm going to pick the Giants to win this one. I'd say by a pretty decent margin. I'll say about 10 or 13. All right, Panthers and Saints. Now, the Panthers really need... It's a must-win for both these teams. And in fact, I think the loser of this game, they might as well just tank for high draft picks. But I think the Panthers are going to win this one. I just think that they need to get going in order to have a chance at a wild card. Because the Falcons are just pulling away in that division ever so slightly. They're just pulling away and nobody realizes it. But I think the difference in this game is going to be those Panthers receivers and Greg Olsen, Devin Funchess, Kelvin Benjamin. Because they are going to have a significant height advantage against these Saints secondaries. So they're going to have their hands full with Greg Olsen and Kelvin Benjamin especially. Whether if Cam Newton's going to be the quarterback or Derek Anderson, you got to take advantage of those matchups. That's what they didn't do against Tampa Bay. Right? The Jaguars and the Bears. I'm going to pick the Bears in this one, although I just think that the Bears are going to have their hands full on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball. Because there's a bunch of talent on the Jaguars team, but it just isn't utilized on game day. I mean, they all get so hyped with the Jaguars having talent, it's never utilized on game day. I think the Bears are going to finally get a win. I think this needs to be the start of Jay Cutler's redemption. Because if Jay Cutler just keeps going down this road he's going on, I feel like it's going to be game over for Jay Cutler in Chicago. Rams and the Lions. Both these teams are doing better than what most people thought originally. And the Rams have won 3 games, the Lions have won 2. Nobody really expected anything out of the Lions this year. Although Marvin Jones is leading the NFL in receiving yards, I still think the Rams are going to win this one because they got to get Todd Gurley going. They've got to get going offensively. I mean, they really struggled against Buffalo. They were struggling throughout the first 3 weeks of the season on offense. I mean, their defense has really rise to the occasion, but they just need that offense to get going. If the Rams offense can get going, they can really make a run in the NFC West. Steelers and the Dolphins. I'm going to take the Steelers in this one. Because the Dolphins secondary, they're going to have their hands full with Antonio Brown, Marcus Wheaton, and Sammy Coates, who's starting to rise to the occasion with 2 touchdowns last week. Pick him up on your fantasy waiver wires, because he's there. I will guarantee it. Because the Dolphins secondary just doesn't have it in them to beat the Steelers. I'm going to pick the Steelers to win this one big. Bengals and Patriots. The Bengals are trying to recover from a humiliating loss against the Cowboys. And though the Patriots, Tom Brady is still angry about the 4-game suspension, and he's going to torch this Bengals secondary. He's going to have his receivers torch that secondary. Gronk is going to step it up. Bennett's going to step it up. Both those 2 tight ends. Looking to get a touchdown apiece. Edelman will probably get a touchdown. Amendola will get a touchdown. It's basically going to be a huge split of touchdowns between people. I honestly think the Patriots are going to win this game like 42-14. I think it's going to get really ugly real quick. If you're a Bengals fan, do not watch that game because it'll be ugly within like the first several minutes. Chiefs and Raiders. I want to pick the Chiefs on this one. I just think coming off the bye week and coming off the humiliating loss against Pittsburgh on Sunday night 2 weeks ago, I think it's what's going to fuel them in this division rivalry game. I just think that Marcus Peters and Amari Cooper / Michael Crabtree, whoever Marcus Peters is going to cover, I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to come down to Marcus Peters and Eric Berry versus Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper. That's what the game is going to come down to. Whichever one of those 4 rise to the occasion is going to win it for their team. All right, Falcons and Seahawks. Now, this is the return of Dan Quinn to Seattle. So you already know that Dan Quinn has a significant coaching advantage in this matchup, as he was the defensive coordinator for Seattle for a while, for quite a few years. So he knows how to win a Super Bowl with defense. He knows what elite NFL defenses are like. So the difference in this game is going to be if Kyle Shanahan can call the right plays for Matt Ryan and the bunch. If Kyle Shanahan can do that, then the Falcons win the game. And I see the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are completely overrated. I think the Falcons are going to pick up this huge upset victory at Seattle. It's going to be extremely loud. But I think the Falcons have it in them to win this game. Julio Jones is going to go up against Richard Sherman. That's going to be a huge, huge matchup to decide it. This is a must-watch. I think this is the game of the week. I think this is a must-watch, if you can. So I like the Falcons to win this game. I think it's going to be really low scoring. I'm going to say 20-13. Atlanta wins. I think that defense is going to rise to the occasion for Atlanta. They're going to get about 4 or 5 sacks on Russell Wilson. I like the Falcons to get another upset victory against a playoff caliber team. Cowboys and Packers. This could be the other game, depending on how you look at it. You got Dak Prescott going on the road in Lambeau to face Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Now, I think Dak Prescott is going to really have his hands full in that with the Lambeau crowd, with that angry Packers defense. But I think the Packers are going to end up winning this game. I just think Aaron Rodgers is going to finally step up in the second half. As his pass rate in the second half is only at 69. So I'm going to still think the Packers are going to win this game in the second half. Rodgers to Nelson with probably 2 minutes left. Or Cobb. You can throw it to either one. Both are really elusive receivers. So I like the Packers to win this one. High-scoring game, 38-34. All right, Colts and Texans. So this is the Sunday night game. Personally, why didn't you put the Falcons and Seahawks as the game of the week? At least that's just my personal opinion. But I'm going to pick the Texans to win this one. The Colts just have looked awful all season long. And finally, one more game, the Jets and Cardinals. I got to pick the Cardinals in this one. The Jets are just going downhill really quickly. Eric Decker's on the IR. Brandon Marshall's losing his bet to Antonio Brown. So I like the Cardinals to win this one. I just think that defense would be a huge difference for Arizona. And I like them to win. Well, that's going to do it for your Week 6 NFL predictions. If you're keeping score at home, I have the Broncos, Bills, Eagles, Browns, Giants, Panthers, Bears, Rams, Steelers, Patriots, Chiefs, Falcons, Packers, Texans, and Cardinals. In fact, here they are right here. Take a picture of that and mark them down as you go this weekend. Well, that's going to do it. Like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your friends, family, whoever. Just share it on social media. That's going to do it. Have a good day, everybody. I will see you next time.